I'd advise you to leave me to my task. You could say I have a mortal's temper. The Peace Edict applies to all mortals, noble and common alike. That means you too.
Do not distract me, Dustling. I meant to watch, to protect. Mortals are such passionate things. You exhibit such lack of judgment.
Welcome to the Gardens of Ysa, home of the Summer Court and the warm heart of the Fae lands. It is a rare occasion for us to welcome a child of dust into Ysa, but it is equally rare that Niralim chooses a champion. Pleased to meet you. I am Chancellor to the High King. I pray you enjoy our hospitality. High King Titarian is Lord of the Summer Fae, the font of all our wisdom, and first amongst the immortals. And since Godflow tragically murdered the High King of the Winter Court, Titarian is the greatest and last true leader left of our kind. The sapling of the World Tree bears centuries of great wisdom. Of course, long-lived as Niralim is, it is still regrettably mortal. Even all greatest mortal wisdom cannot compare to the perspective given by true agelessness. Begging your pardon, of course. We are the Summer Court, the very embodiments of courage, honor, and all things bright and proud. Some envious few in the Winter Court would call us arrogant and self-righteous, as well as all manner of other epithets. But remember, we are the ones who stayed true to tradition, while they turned to barbarism. The Tuatha find new recruits from our ranks. The ranks of the Fae were not always sullied by the presence of anything so coarse as the Tuatha. Once, the Summer and Winter Courts existed in harmony. But Godflow perverted the Winter Court with talk of his new god, and from that poison, the Tuatha arose. Too many mortals misunderstand the Winter Court. Our cold cousins are not evil, but merely evoke the darker truths of nature, from subtlety to decay. Perhaps it makes sense that children of dust are put off by those who embody their inevitable death, but it is regrettable that so many are misunderstood. Truly a place of wonder, as it has always been and always shall be. Here springs the life well of Dalentarth, and the greater Faelands in all directions. It is a pity that some of our kind have fallen to such degenerative states, but we cannot shed a tear for their weakness.
I understand.
Hello,
King
Dustling.
will only meet with those who have sought an audience. If you wish
Have
to
you
gain
seen
permission,
Lord Setter?
you will need to visit
Rio
the
was
Hall of
looking for him.
Appointments.
Lady Wenry as well.
If you seek the if sage crafting intrigues you, visit Olana. She is always in need of help.
We are quite aware of the conditions on the outside, but it is not our way to interfere.
Have you
If
noticed
the
how the
great
gnomes
cycle
never
calls for
seem to
conflict,
exit their
then
branch
there
of the
will be
embassy?
destruction.
They are the most peculiar people. I met with the Court of Summer just recently. Titarian was quite gracious, although he didn't grant any of my requests. If you have any questions, speak with Griamar near the city entrance. He's very helpful. If you have any questions, speak with Griamar near the city entrance. He's very helpful.
Please, come forward into the light of the font. Don't linger there. I need to see you. Closer. Oh, fascinating. I had heard the telling of your ascension in the House of Ballads, but I never expected to lay eyes upon you. You are free to roam the city at your leisure. even the trellis and the understyle. If you seek mortal trappings, then Felltown will provide. High King Titarian fulfills his role as our wise ruler. He gathers around him the bravest and most gifted advisors, and together they make up the Court of Summer. Like his predecessors, Titarian's goal is to maintain the Great Cycle, and to keep the balance that has sustained us for all these many seasons. It is a special district set aside for the young races. A haven, if you will. We encourage you to stay within its confines for your own protection. Do not worry. Felltown has the amenities that your kind need to lead a mortal life, such as merchants, a smithy, and a tavern for evening exploits. The gardens have been here since the first of our kind sprang forth. Only in the last few mortal years have we chosen to make it known to your people, with good reason. This is a safe place, and we intend to keep it that way. To that end, we ask mortals to adhere to the Peace Edict, which forbids weapons in the city. Every living creature in our world is part of a chain of death and rebirth, even the Fae. However, when we pass into the flow of our great cycle, we return again. The king rules from his throne high above on the font, and he has done so for many seasons. You should know this, since you've been sent to speak with him. Most mortals in Ysa are stripped of weapons upon entering the city. However, there are a few exceptions. Ambassadors and guests of the near limb. We do this for your own protection, of course. There is a fire in Dustling blood that must be quenched by violence. I've never understood it. The font is older than everything around you. It is the origin from which we flow. If you search for the heart of Summer Court magic, you will find the font. Once, the understyle was all around you, spreading from the garden's gates to the great trunks of the trellis. But that was before the mortals came. There is little that mortals need to know about the trellis, for it is where the worthy await their moment before the High King. Everyone who stands before the light of the sun must prepare themselves, lest they be blinded. It is behind me, up the great winding stairs. Goodbye, Your Grace.
I don't recognize you. New in Ysa?
The Fae like us to stay out of the understyle. That's their custom. Our kind linger in the shadows of Felltown. The Fae like us to stay out of the Scholia Arcana, the only outside institution allowed in the city. If you're interested in magic, you should visit them. Hi there.
Tell me of the authorities' gifts.
There is but one true pattern, one design. It is the authorities. Everything is his.
They'd like us to stay out of the understuff.
We're friendly enough in Felltown, but we still like to keep our secrets. Everyone is listening. We're friendly enough and... Is it just me? Or does the water level seem to be dropping? I must be seeing things. They say the font's flow never falters.
Be warned. There is a peace edict in the Gardens of Ysa. No disturbing the peace and no open displays of weapons. Ridiculous, I know. You should come by town later tonight. That's when we children of the dust really show the Fae what it means to live.
Tell me of the authorities' gifts.
I have faith that his behavior is...
The Fae like us to stay out of the understyle. That's their district. Our kind linger in the...
authority's gifts.
I know the purpose given me.
Ah.
Yes, what do you want? I take this responsibility very seriously. I'd advise you to leave me to my task. You could say I have a more chance.
If this were my city, I'd want to hide it too. If the Gardens of Ysa ever fell, I cringe to think of the outcome. If this, do you have the authority to be here? The Gardens of Ysa are for the privileged few with papers. Hello, child.
We're friendly enough in Felltown, but we still like to keep our secrets. Everyone is listening. We're friendly enough in Fell. If you want to see a remarkable sight, venture to the higher terrace after dark. That's when revelry occurs. Stay out of the understyle.
Welcome to the embassy. You will see that every race has a representative in the city, even yours. You will feel at home here, mortal. There's plenty of deceit and hatred to keep you interested. That is what interests you, is it not?
Hello, I am Ambassador Calder of the Almain. We may be new to the region, but we are just as involved in matters of the Fae and the war. It is simply an honor to be here. We Almain are doing our part for the war effort, but there are plenty of other relationships to forge far from the battlefields. Like most of my kin, I have humble roots. My parents were both trappers on the Snaketail River, feeding much of Whitestone Village back before it fell on hard times. Despite my position as lead ambassador to the Summer Court, I am an outsider. There is bad blood between some of the races. As a result, I try to steer my own course. I do not wish to speak ill of other diplomats, but Ambassadors Keen and Brenner of the Alfar and Varani are plotting against each other, as if we need more deception. The Almain are new to diplomacy, but there are still several powerful titles available for purchase. It's your money, friend. Spend it wisely, and as you choose. Carry on.
Varani only.
Aren't you bold? This is the Varani wing of the embassy, and few venture here without being summoned. I am Ambassador Advar, he who bloodies the waters. I have served my people for 40 years, in war and in peace. Now I serve here, in the Gardens. It is here where the important battles are fought, the Battle of Wills. I enjoy being this close to those I'm competing against. That's what this is, isn't it? A conflict in which we struggle to gain the ear of the Fae. As always, the Varani will triumph. I have lived in less hospitable places. The Fae may not understand what it means to be mortal, but they certainly have an eye for beauty. The High King knows why we are here, yet he does nothing. Our people die at the hands of the Tuatha. Fae. But the Fae themselves show no remorse. Titarian and their summer court will know our anger, and they will aid us or perish. The Varani allow the purchase of several titles for use in the Gardens of Ysa, but they are rare and should be worn with great respect. No skin from my nose. Your business is your own, as is mine. Stay out of my way.
I am Ambassador Brenner. If you wish to deal with the Varani, I am your contact. This is not a life I chose, here in this fetid swamp of a city. I was raised on the sea, an adventurer and warrior. I survived, and that made me what you see before you. They don't deserve the breath I waste on them. There are powerful warriors in their ranks, but as a group they share no collective spine. They have no reason to fight. I do not enjoy this position, talking instead of fighting, speaking of the enemy instead of facing them, but I have a job to do, and I will do it.
I apologize, but one of my station has many obligations to attend to. Please, excuse me. I apologize, but one...
Welcome to the embassy, young one. I am Scholar Icob of the Domus Politica. What brings you to my chamber? I have no love for the other races here, if that's what you're asking. The Varani are coarse and brutal, while the Alpha are scheming and treacherous. The Allmain, well, they don't leave much of an impression, if I must be honest. I'll forgive them for their blandness. After all, they are so young. There's much to be gained from an alliance with the Summer Court, although I can't say I enjoy working with Fae directly. They're too set in their ways, too rigid. They've already grown and changed. The Tuatha themselves are a new breed of creature, a fascinating amalgam that should be explored. We have a unique interest in the Fae, but I cannot explain further. I will say this, their supposed immortality poses a problem to all mortals. The scholars in Odessa have a keen interest in gaining High King Titarian's trust and cooperation. There's so much to learn from him. A flighty creature. During my audience with the king, he forgot my name not once, but twice. It was insulting. But did he notice? Never. I've had a long career as an ambassador with the Domus Politica, and as a clerk in the Grand Bursars. But the real work will be done out here, in the wider world. We find them endlessly fascinating, in their ambition, in their magic, and in their disregard for the natural order. We could learn much from such creatures. Of course, it's one simple service I can provide. Perhaps with time and effort, you will one day reside with us here, in the embassy. We all must consider our choices, until we speak again. Until we meet again.
Our days are hard petitioning the court, pleading with the High King. Whoever said an ambassador's life was easy? If this were my city, I'd want to hide it too. If the Gardens of Ysa ever fell,
Let me guess. You're here to buy a title. No? A bribe, is that what you want? Listen to me. I'm no one's plaything. I apologize. Forgive me. Sometimes the work in this place is too much. I thought Ysa would be different, but it's just another nest of snakes. I don't believe the Fae see the Losselfar and Dokulfar as separate groups. They tend to view the world in strict generalities, along bloodlines and origins. Sometimes working alongside the Dokulfar is difficult, but we have an arrangement. They adhere to their goals and methods, and we adhere to ours. You think I want to be here, stuck in this giant vegetable? Never. My mother volunteered me for this position, and I had no choice. I have a young soldier back home who waits for me, but can I be with him before he sails? No, I have to administer to the Fae. The war is the only reason I'm not still resisting my appointment. Something must be done. You know it as well as I do. The Fae must help. Who knows our enemy better? Do yourself this one favor and leave this place as quickly as you came. It's a den of deceit and malice. You don't want friends like these. I understand. Well, I can offer you the traditional alpha titles that are available at the embassy. That's fine. If you change your mind, please do come back. Farewell.
Then we must do what needs to be done.
Perhaps we must finally swallow our dignity and draw our swords. Quiet. We must not discuss this further in the open.
Welcome.
Yes?
You must be the special messenger Tatarian's expecting. Trust me, the rest of us have heard plenty about it. Erwin can't keep his big mouth shut. I am Methani Keen, Dokulfar ambassador to the Summer Court Fae. I'm sorry. This is a difficult position sometimes. They are a council of Fae nobles that advise the High King in matters of politics. Not that they even understand what that means. To them, politics is just a game. Well, more of a game than usual. You understand my meaning. This is where the Fae hide us to keep us out of sight. I used to take offense, but I got over it. I wouldn't want to live near them. Strange things, the Fae. Ysa is fine, and the Fae are tolerable, but many believe they should do more to support the war effort. It's unjust to live in peace while the rest of the world burns. I've met with him several times. I'll admit, he radiates a certain presence, but I'm less interested in charisma than I am in leadership. Not everyone is welcome up there. It's where the court of summer nobles spend their time reminding themselves of past glories. I'd avoid it. Something is about to happen, and it must be stopped. But that is all I can say. This is neither the time nor the place. If you're interested in hearing my story, meet me in the worship circle after dark, near the gates. I will wait for you there. She is no politician. She is a warlord, and a cruel one. I've heard stories that would make your heart brittle. She was sent here for one reason alone, to bring down Ysa. This is not the place. I will meet you in the time and place I specified. Goodbye.
Have you noticed how the gnomes never seem to exit their branch of the embassy? They are the most peculiar people.
I am Ambassador Brenner. If you wish to deal with the Varani, I am your contact.
What do you want? Memory Walk is an unnatural place, cursed by the Fae's false gods. I would avoid it if I were you. Memory Walk is an unnatural place. Memory Walk is... Mark my words, the Summer Court will end its neutrality by its own hand, or someone else's.
Let free your pockets!
You should come by town later tonight. That's when we children of the dust really show the Fae what it means to live. Be warned, there is a peace edict in the Gardens of Ysa. No disturbing the peace and no open displays of weapons. Ridiculous, I know.
Come, earn an honest wage!
I hope you're here about the job. Demand is higher than ever. I'm just too busy to deal with anything else. Sure. You want to know about me? It's understandable. You want to know who you're going into business with. A wise move. Very wise. My mother was a merchant in Rathir, and I learned the trade at her side. I took the apprenticeship with Gwenna Hand, mostly to get me into Ysa. Now I'm on my own. What do I know of Fae politics? I didn't even know they had a city until Gwen and I were allowed in. All I know is that there's opportunity here, thanks to the war. I can sum up the war in one word. Folly. It is folly. You will see. Everyone will see. You think I like being confined to this cage? Think again. And after all we've done for them in this war, ungrateful creatures. It's safe, that's for sure. At least for the time being. I don't quite understand the Fae, but they definitely know how to keep a city quiet. She's the general merchant in the United Merchants delegation down the road. We've been friends for years now, I believe. A good, honest one, that Gwenna. Not just anyone can enter the secret city of the Fae. Oh no. You need an ambassador's endorsement and written authorization, and that's just to be in the lottery. Those in the United Merchants are the lucky ones. Of course, once you see how much gold they actually make in Ysa, you will no longer envy them. Making a fortune is what? These visitors come with obscene amounts of gold or treasure. They don't mind parting with it. My plan was brilliant. I created a blade, Fae blade, of course, that makes them authentic, something all of them had to have. That's all they care about anyway, Fae souvenirs. I called it the Honor brand. Truth be told, it's dull as a stick, but it's easy to make. Listen, if you can find the parts and make them, I'll pay good money. Fabulous, fabulous! You know a good deal when you see it. There aren't enough people like you in Ysa. The Fae don't even use money. Can you imagine? Once you start forging the honor brands, bring them to me and I'll provide you with just compensation. There should be plenty of parts around the city. For creatures with no interest in possessions, they sure know how to collect a fair amount of junk. Bring me something nice. Doesn't look like you've had any luck. Forge me an honor brand and I'll do my best to make it worth your time. Goodbye.
Please do not engage me. I must not be distracted in my role. Please do not please. Welcome to the merchant's house. You are encouraged to satisfy your desire to acquire possessions. I do not understand it, but it is not for me to understand.
Abide by strangers in Ysa. In this city, everyone is family. If you want to get around the peace edict, you'll have to keep your voice down. It's not exactly the keys of Rathir, or even the hospitalis quarters of Edessa, but Felltown has its charm. If you find out what it is, be sure to come and find me. It's better than the cellar crawl space I called home just 2 months ago, believe me. The Fae may be grumpy, but they've got nothing on giant rats. You know, that neighborhood in the gnome city of Edessa where the poor live. Oh, it's a lot of fun. Well, technically, we're not supposed to carry or sell weapons in Ysa, but I've found a few loopholes. As have you. If you're on the market for something deadly, I'm your man. Just don't go blabbing about it to the Fae. They've got buds for brains. The Dockside District in Rathir is a lovely place, if you're looking to have your throat cut or contract a nasty disease. Remember it next time you travel there. Not much to tell. Heard the war horn of the recruiters and packed my bags. Slipped out in the dead of the night, I did, and I'm proud of it. What good is fighting when the Tuatha don't die? Besides, I'm a businessman. I got my hand on a pass into Ysa, and the rest has been waterfalls and walks by the river. Farewell. Hey. Here comes a fresh face. Take a look at what I've got here. Okay, then. The Fae like us to stay out of the Understyle. That's their district. Our kind linger in the shadows of Felltown. Ysa is very tense these days. What with the Crystal War and magic. The Fae seem to revel in their ignorance.
Need anything? I've got the best in Ysa.
Mark my words. The summer court will end its neutrality by its own hand.
Best goods in Ysa. If you're looking to buy armor, I'm the only one in Felltown who's authorized to sell it. I'm Gwen Hand, but my customers call me Gwen. I don't have many weapons to offer, on account of the peace edict, but there's still a selection to pick through. Have at it. He's a dear friend from years ago. He spent time as my apprentice, but recently set out on his own. He sells authentic ritual Fae blades outside in the square. The Tuatha were intensifying their attacks against Mel Sinshir, the bastion in the east. Of course, that's just rumors. I pray they're not true. This is where the Fae keep us so we don't blemish their pretty city. Can't say I blame them. We're an unruly and ugly lot, mortals. Being here isn't good for business, that's for sure. I see the same damn 20 faces every day. But it's an honor for Britt and I to be here. Make no mistake about that. My twin brother and I were entering the army to fight for the Alpha when I panicked. I couldn't. I'm not a fighter. I came to Ysa instead. I'm not proud of running, but I'm much more useful here as an unofficial ambassador of sorts. Not everyone's a fighter. The Fae didn't have laws, at least not official ones, until we arrived. Now they insist that those of us who live in Ysa must keep its peace. No weapons. You must be one of the special exemptions. Let me guess. Ambassador? Scolia Arcana? Could be anything. Nice talking.
Get to know your blade here.
You've been watching me long enough. What is it? Did I wrong you in another life, sister?
If you're willing to spare the gold, I can teach you what I know. In this battered old skull is a lifetime of knowledge. And quite a few stories as well. I have no interest in this war between mortals and the deathless. It is a waste of life, and I have my own private battles to finish. It's as good a place as any, I guess. But after a while, people begin to remember you. And for someone like me, that's a problem. I prefer anonymity. Besides, could there be a better place to hide from this offensive war? The only weapons you find in a garden are the blades of grass. I don't care to stay in one place for too long. Felltown sounded like a good opportunity, and an even better hiding place. I can't say the peace edict has hurt business, but it's not exactly easy to train students in blacksmithing without weapons around. What you've no doubt heard is correct. I am the Holt Fren. I forged Bolgan's Bane of the Caelid Coast, and many other legendary pieces. My youth was spent as a mercenary, but I have since renounced those ways. Unfortunately, my enemies have long memories, and they aren't as forgiving as I am. It is an ancient Alfar kingdom far across the sea in the dense swamps of Clurcon. I once helped its great lords overcome a terrible Bolgan problem. Let the Fae try to stop me from carrying arms in the city. Weapons are my trade, my only expertise. It would be like asking a hen to stop laying eggs. Farewell.
Turn away, mortal. The Den of Night is meant for the impudent. Your entrance shall be denied. It is where the brazen and unrepentant are sent to consider their crimes. Must I point out that the Den of Night's occupants are almost always mortals? They are given time to reflect, and when they are ready, they may brave the beasts of the hollow to return to us here on the surface. It's a great privilege for mortals to reside in this, our most sacred dwelling. Try to deny your dustling impulses and resist from killing each other. My own telling has brought me here to the Gardens of Ysa, to act as one of its guardians and caretakers. I'll protect it from any threat, including you. Avoid the Den of Night, dustling.
Welcome to the Mortal Tavern. I believe they call it Asker's Alley. Welcome to the... This dwelling gets quite raucous. You mortals have a strange tendency to befoul anything you touch.
Welcome to the Gardens of Ysa, the last beautiful place in Amalur. We'll see how long that lasts. Welcome to the... If you see that rodent Brick Codkin, you tell him I'm coming. Trickster sold me a Fae on a brand last week. Thing wouldn't cut a spinster's thread.
So you're the mortal who rose to power in the House of Ballads. You're not at all how I imagined you. My place is prowling the Fae lands in search of a worthy challenge. Not here petitioning fools about issues that do not concern me. You fell persons are ignorant, aren't you? The Great Cycle is what gives balance between the eternal conflict of growth and decay. When every Fae passes, he is reborn. As long as the Great Cycle persists, this world we share may continue to refine itself on a path to perfection. We adore him in every guise, yet he has a wistfulness that I do not understand. There is no fire in him, only a peaceful pool that goes deeper than any of us realize.
Take a chance, win some gold. You look like one who enjoys a game of hexes. We mortals need something of our own here in Ysa. Why can't it be gambling? If you don't know how, I can teach you. What do you want to know about me for? Is this some kind of Fae interrogation? Keep your curiosity to yourself, friend. Folks here have gold, and that's enough for me. I don't care where I find myself, just so long as the people there are willing to pay. Not much to do here in the Fae City, but lighten your pockets and have a good time doing it. But I jest. You have a lucky look about you, stranger. You had a look about you. Listen, all you need recall is these 6 cards here in my hand. Ace, deuce, 3, 4, 5, and the hex. First, you start with an ante. What'll it be? In my hand, there's an ace, deuce, 3, 4, 5, and a hex. 6 cards all mixed up. First round, you guess even or odd. If you're right on a hex or an ace, you take the pot and we're done. Right on any other, and it's on to the second hand. Hand number 2. I'll pull another card, guess if it's higher or lower than the first. Get it right, you win. Simple as that. Bold, I like it. Now, will the card I draw be even or odd? Yes! The card is a deuce. Right you were. Now what's your bet? Now that's some real coin on the table. Now, make your guess. Second card, higher or lower than the first? Higher, is it? And the card is 4. So you win. Finished already.
You should come by town later tonight. That's when we children of the dust really show the Fae what it means to live.
Have you ever been up to the trellis? I hear it's quite beautiful, but only the worthy are given entrance. If you fancy a game of hexes, Callie Keane will see to it. She's a good girl, fairer than most I've met.
Don't be too impressed by all the nobles and ambassadors. Anyone can buy a title. They're available for a small sum in the embassy. Do you think the Court of Summer even exists? All of this posturing makes me wonder if it's just a myth meant to comfort us.
Welcome to the Gardens of Ysa, the last beautiful place in
Good
Amalur.
conversation here. Don't be too impressed by all the noble.
Have you ever been up to the trellis? I hear it's quite beautiful, but only the worthy are given entrance.
Welcome to the... Hey there, pretty. This is Aska's Alley, best tavern in Ysa. Only tavern in Ysa, of course, but you didn't know that, did you? If you're new in the city, I can help. I know everything. About the understyle, the embassy, the Scholia Arcana, you name it. I know it all. We provide your basic public service. Ale. And if drinking isn't your thing, then you can always stop by the Hexes game and back. Sure, we've got a place to sleep on the floor over there, but it'll cost you. Fine, it's up to you. Oh, if I had the finery and manners, you wouldn't find me anywhere but the Embassy Hall. I'd even buy a title. But it's a dreadful place these days, what with the war. The Darkelfar and Varani are practically at arms over their differences, and everyone speaks in a whisper. I prefer the United Merchants delegation. Those are my people. So you want to brush up on your bad luck, do you? That game will do it for you, all right. Speak with Kali in the back. When Ysa first opened, the Alfar approached the humans about creating a shared shop so people here could get their sundries. All of this was lost on the Fae, of course. Most of the United Merchants are good people, like Wystron and Gwenna, but that blacksmith's apprentice, Britt Codgan, he's a leech. The Askers took me in when my pa was killed in the war. That's been nearly 10 years. Now this is my home, pretty. It's where you'll find me every day and every night. Oh, that's a sinister spot, isn't it? Even the Fae take a few extra steps to walk clear of there. Don't trust anyone in robes. Like I said, it's all magic to me. If the Fae said this city got its power from glowing purple antelopes, I'd probably believe them. I'm just a hostess. It's the Fae neighborhood on the other side of the city. There you'll find the Hall of Appointments and the Lyceum Grove. They don't mind if you go exploring in the Understyle, but I wouldn't suggest it unless you know your way around. The Fae can be easily offended. Is that the one at the far end of the Understyle? Yeah, I think that's the place. Never been there, but folks say that's where the Fae make the waterfalls. You see, the city gets its magic from the water. They call it the fountain. Or is it the wellspring? I never remember. I'm sure it's just a story anyway. Olana and her squire Brio, they have the good fortune to meet with all the nobles who visit the High King. A life of lords and ladies. Oh, that's the life for me. Let me just say that I adore Olana. She's one of the few Fae that I've met face to face, and she couldn't be more pleasant. Such a pretty one. Bye now.
Good to see you, cousin.
Welcome to the alley.
If you're looking to drown your worries at the bottom of a bottle, this is the place for you. I'm Gertern Asker, and this is my establishment. But if you're looking for the Victor's Brew, we don't sell that in Asker's Alley, and you'll have to take your business elsewhere. The ambassadors requested that facilities be created where flesh and blood folks could put their feet up. Not that the Fae know what that means. So the All-Main approached my family about starting a tavern. The alley does well, but I'm no businessman. I know better than to criticize the Fae. They call us children of dust. We treat them like people, but they're like no people I've ever met. This city has been here for thousands of years. Longer than that, even. It will be here long after we're gone. I wouldn't say I ran from the war. I just don't need to know every little thing that's going on. There are other ways to help. Getting folks drunk is one of them. Oh, yes, sorry. The United Merchants Delegation. It's a coalition of traders that have been granted permission to sell their wares in Ysa. There's a brewery near Rathia that makes it. Very small, very secretive. But they've found their niche, that's for certain. Cheap and powerful. It's not a drink for the man who appreciates craftsmanship, tradition. It just helps the soldiers forget all they've been through. It's the most popular drink in Amalur, at least it is now. My Asker's Ale used to be the preferred beverage, but every day brings more cancelled orders. My brother and I are working on a new drink, but it requires something special. Wait a minute. Maybe you could help. If you do, I could see to it that the merchants in Ysa treat you well. So here's what we're thinking. Bring back our grandmother's favorite Asker's Draft, a classic. The recipe calls for bristletongue seeds, and if you're talking rare ingredients, bristletongue tops the list. It's worthless for potions, but tastes fabulous. The problem is that the Fae control the use of bristletongue, as it's a product of the Font's waters. Talk to Jackson, their apothecary. He can probably get it for us. It's been in our family for 4 generations, since the days of Almir the Bold. Our grandmother entrusted us with the formula, and we made a fortune from it. But I'm afraid we've been replaced by a new drink. Almir the Bold was the first king of the Almain. He brought us out of lawlessness and misery. We've always wanted to name a drink after him. He spends his time in the Lyceum Grove in the Understyle section of town. He's an odd duck, always crafting new tonics. Some advice? Don't drink any. Good luck.